Oh, my dude can't. I don't. I'm done. It didn't work.
Good morning, everyone. I'll go ahead and call us to order. It's right at 8:33. First thing is, Linda Bull, after serving a couple of years, she has resigned. She's moving on, doing other things, and just can't commit to the time. But we really appreciate her service. I think she's been with us about 2 years. So she wasn't here this morning, but we really do appreciate all the service. Donna Skidmore, who is in the audience today, has been nominated by the retiree group, but the mayor has not yet done the pencil whipping portion of that. So we would expect her to be up here shortly. Anyway, so welcome, Donna, and we're happy to have you. The next piece will be to approve the minutes from June 6th. Got a motion? Second? All in favor? Aye, approved. All right. And we have a presentation scheduled today, but it's an internal presentation, so I'll hold it till the end, and we'll just jump right into the reporting, if that's all right with everyone. So starting with our group indemnity, I'm still very pleased with the numbers. We still tend to be trending well in 2018 versus 2017. Now, this is where I feel like the numbers are starting to tell us a little bit something more. We're going to start to creep up because members have gotten through their deductibles and things like that. And so, if they're going to be using the service, we're going to start really seeing it on our cost side. But so far, so good. If you're looking at that far right column, we're still trending significantly below prior year for our active. So good news there. And then in our non-Medicare retirees, nothing significant that I would call out there. We tend to be running fairly even relative to last year, so no big movement there. And then as we look at our Medicare retirees, generally speaking, in the $250 deductible area, we tend to be running fairly well relative to the prior year. The $750 deductible group is a little bit higher than prior year, but the only thing that's concerning to me as far as trend, and it's not abnormal for this group, but we can see that if we look at the prescription claims for both groups, it's really up there. And we're talking about 1,000, right at 1,100 members, and we're in a multi-million dollars in our drug claims, although we're already in this current year. And with the renewal information that we receive from Blues, that is the trend. I mean, just very high drug usage. Yes, sir.
Is any of them, I was told retirees can use guaranteed fees. Are any of them getting some of their drugs from there to help defer that cost down a little bit?
Absolutely. To answer your question, I don't know, because I get utilization, and we're well utilizing the clinic, but I don't know what groups those folks come from. So that's the issue. But to your point, though, that's been a part of our messaging and will continue to be part of our messaging. We have retiree meetings scheduled for September, early October, where we're going to go in and talk about renewal rates, and that's going to be a big component of what we're talking about, is how you affect your premiums, how your utilization affects your cost. And so absolutely, we're going to take that message to them that they should be, if they can get a free drug at the clinic, they should absolutely be doing it.
For most of us older people, blood pressure medicines and things like that, a lot of your preferred ones have changed down to generic now, and they are getting more of the longer.
Absolutely. Oh, and Terry, you brought up something in items from committee, I think it was last meeting, about are we going to expand the formulary at the clinic? And I checked into that, and there is a process for that. It's pretty simple. It's pretty informal. Basically, all you need to do, or one of your members would need to do, is let us know the drug that they have in mind. And then what we'll do is we'll submit that to CARE-TC, and it really kind of requires 3 points of approval. The city side, obviously, we'd have to look at it. The CARE-TC side as a company, and then also the doctor. So we just had one recently added. I believe it was gabapentin. At a member's request, the doctor agreed, yes, this is something I would normally prescribe, and I should have it on hand, and it was approved. So
Is it only generics that we're doing through?
it's only generics, though, so that would be one of the caveats, that it would need to be generic.
And the thing with that is, again, like you said, you're getting the information out there to retirees and stuff, is we all got to work at getting the information out about that. They will have more drugs and stuff. Because I did have a member call me at home and ask me because their prescription costs went way up when the insurance changes last year on HMO. And I said, man, you got to get down there to that clinic and they will fix you up and balance out a generic to what you've got. So it's just getting the information out there.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you letting them know. I will continue to do so also. I didn't have anything else to call out on the group indemnity unless anyone had any questions on that. And then on our HMO, we called it out last time, but we're just seeing that slight decrease since the May mid-plan year change with the higher copays. So we're seeing a slightly lower rate, but nothing else particularly interesting to call out there, I don't think. And then same story. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Every other group is medical prescription. On this one, it's just aggregated. Do the prescription costs not get broken out on the EOC?
We could get that as far as reporting goes, but we pay a premium. So we pay, yeah, absolutely.
How they trended versus the other groups.
Yeah, let us look into that and see if it's something we can break out of our reporting and make it a little bit more similar to the indemnity.
Yeah, and how it transferred.
So these are just the premium costs. Are you talking about asking them to tell us what the actual medical costs are, like what's being spent in the program on medical versus
Yeah, I'm just saying
pharmacy?
on every other chart, we see medical prescription. Here it's just claims paid. And I just thought it'd be interesting to see if we could get a medical prescription so we can see how the trends are comparing against the other groups, because you've got active, early retirees.
Sure.
When you look at the other Medicare cost,
Right.
you don't know with this product if it's the same type of trend or if it's completely opposite and why.
Yeah,
I just, you're trying to look at
absolutely.
numbers. Interesting to see what they're doing.
Yeah, I think what we might be able to do is just use some of the reporting that UHC already provides us, I think on a quarterly basis. I'll have to look at that. And then maybe augment this report to include something additional. I don't think that's an issue. We'll look at that.
Maybe it's so good that everybody ought to be right?
Could be.
I don't know, I'm just saying, it might be like, wow,
Jeez.
why aren't, you saying all of that stuff? Just curious about how it looks.
Okay, yeah, we will take a look at that for sure. And then I'm going to skip ahead to the MAPD program, which I'm very pleased with. And that's titled under that United Healthcare of Oklahoma PPO. And that program has just been growing and running very well, so pretty pleased with what they're coming back with. Renewals are not final yet, so we haven't had council sign off on those, so I don't want to put information out there, but we did receive proposals back, and MAPD no longer had a government-required fee associated with it for this year. Now, that may come back around, but it's looking even better than what we're having here on the page, so pretty pleased with the way the program's running on
And
that.
that one's available only to retirees.
Only to the retirees that are Medicare eligible. Yep. And then, I don't want to skip ahead too much, but I don't have anything to call out on the dental side of the house or on the national life insurance or the group life plan. It's pretty standard there, but if we have any questions, I'm happy to address them. And with that, we have a presentation from Billy, one of our staff members.
Good morning. Billy Smith, Benefit Coordinator with the Benefits Office. Today we're going to go over the CARE ATC Medical Center Customer Service Survey Report. We had survey dates between January 2017 and March of 2018. There were 1,000 surveys that were submitted during this period. And then we had an average survey rating of 9.65 across all of the categories.
Billy, how does the member submit the survey? What's that process look like?
The survey is processed, I believe it's by a callback from CARE ATC to the member. They will have, I'd have to check on that and get back with you.
Were you
Was it
filled out a
through email?
survey after an appointment? Mm-hmm.
You got an email?
Gotcha.
I don't want to make any assumptions. I believe if you have the app set up and you've got an email set up, they may be able to send you one that way. So I'd have to verify with them exactly how they send that over. The average survey rating is 9.65 across all the categories, and I'll kind of get into a breakdown of what we have on this next slide. This is broken down by surveys by call category or by survey category. The largest group, 53% of the surveys, the comments came back as satisfied. There were 532 out of the 1,000. The next group, no comment, no additional comments were added. 30% of the surveys taken, it ended up being 298 of those. And then we've got a few other categories, smaller groups. Next largest, we had scheduling or 800-line questions or concerns, maybe change requests. And I've got those broken down a little bit more in the upcoming slide, as well as additional services there.
So the categories are broken down by member concerns that they reported on the survey?
Correct. Either that or their comment type.
Okay.
What their comment actually contained. So we aggregated that in based on what the comment was. So there wasn't actually a set type of response. Some of these were lumped in. If they had a comment that they were happy with the service, then they were lumped into the satisfied category. Some of these other ones, like the script request or even the scheduling, HVAC concerns, things like that, those were generally happy or satisfied with the service, and we'll go into the next slide if you don't mind. Ratings by those categories, basically everything was between 9 and 9.75 or so, with the exception of the staff comments, and we had relatively few comments about the staff. It was, sorry, I didn't have it on that slide. 36 surveys out of that 1,000 contained that staff comments that you see. It's about 7 out of 10.
So someone that had a problem with the staff, for example, is still rating the clinic at, on average, a 7 of 10.
Yeah, and with that being a small group, we had one in particular that rated everything at a 1, so I think that's bringing it down a little bit.
Okay.
So we can break it down a little bit more if anyone doesn't have any questions on this slide. I'll go forward to the next one. The additional services by category. This is that additional services group with the 31 surveys. It was broken down, 23% of these wanted food of some kind, drinks, snacks, breakfast, lunch, was requested to be at the clinic or at the medical center. They rated it a 10, though, so they were happy with the service, just they wanted something to eat.
Needed snacks, okay.
Yes. Additional locations, we had 16%. They just want an additional office to visit instead of just the one downtown. And we had 26% that asked for extended hours and 35% that wanted additional equipment. Things like x-rays or CTs, just basic office equipment that they'd need there in the office to do, instead of doing out-of-house visits or referrals. All right, we'll go over next to the staff comments, and this is what I kind of mentioned, bringing down the average rating for this group. We had concerns about their diagnosis from the physician, 5%. They did rate it at a 4.6. And then we had one person with privacy concerns between the medical center and the city, getting too much information to the employer. They rated it at a 1. But one of the comment actually included that they were happy to come get their medication free but they didn't want the information going to the city. So I think they were happy with the clinic overall. They were just concerned with privacy. And then staff comments and concerns. A lot of these came in before we had Dr. Patel coming in. So it ended up being rated at an 8 out of 10. 95% of the calls were just comments about staff, though. I haven't gotten word of when we'll get another batch of surveys. I assume we're going to get that annually, so I would expect to run that again annually as we get the report back.
Appreciate it, Billy. Any questions for him? No? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Folks, that's all I have for this morning. Anything from the committee? All right, we'll have a motion to adjourn. Oh, I'm so sorry. Donna, come speak to us. I apologize. Already keeping us in order.
Okay, I want to clarify something for when I go back to the retirees.
Yes, ma'am.
That last slide, you said that the people were concerned about information going to the city. Please correct me if I'm wrong. The only thing that goes to the city is the information on number, usages, and no name. It's a generic column. So many people came to visit, so many people got prescriptions, and so many people did this. It's not John Doe got that, Mary got this, correct?
Yes. That is
Okay.
correct.
I
Yeah,
wanna
we
make
have a
sure.
complete firewall between the vendor and the city. I have
Okay.
no idea who goes and what they get.
Okay, wanted to verify that because I know they'll ask. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely.
Same comment from employees, that it's just paranoia.
Yeah,
They're not supposed to give them that information in a law or whatever, so you're
Absolutely.
yeah. Well, you know,
supposed to give them that.
the older we get, yeah, the older we get, we know that the government is watching us through our cable TV. So, that's what you deal with in the older.
Absolutely.
So, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All right. Well, I will adjourn us. Thank y'all.